Hey folks, back with us here on the C Morning Show. We have a very special guest joining us this morning. They are Dongker. They are a punk rock band from Bandung who have captivated music lovers with their raw energy and unapologetic style. Since their formation back in 2019, they have embodied the fiery spirit of 70s punk, driven by blistering three-chord riffs and relentless tempos. And it's just a time span of few short years, Dongker has carved its name into the heart of Indonesia's punk rock scene, earning recognition and respect through their electrifying performances as well as bold achievements.
Yes, folks. So without further ado, let's meet them. So, guys, welcome. We have vocal and guitarist Delpi Suharyanto, Arno Zaror, and the drummer Zikri Julio Gian. So, welcome. Yes. Thanks for being here.
Hello.
All the way from Bandung.
Hello.
Yay.
Hi, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for being here.
So, if we're talking about punk rock in Indonesia or punk music, it's not really popular like pop or maybe rock or right now hip hop. And here you guys play the genre punk, right? So why did you choose punk for your music?
Oh, so maybe at first it was back then, like in 2017. It was in our college years. It was in the Bandung Institute of Technology.
ITB?
Yes, we were majoring in fine arts.
Okay.
Arno took interior design. Then at the time we all have interest in music, especially Delpi. Delpi is already being in the scene for like since elementary school.
It's an underground scene. It's always there, right?
It's always
Bandung,
the
yes.
underground scene. It's always the punk rock and hardcore music scene. So Delpi invited the other, like Arno and Bilal, the bassist, and also myself, Zikri, to form a band to play music at first. But at first we didn't specifically choose what genre that we want to play. But because Delpi already has a background in the music scene at the time, so I think mostly he influenced us, like giving us references on the music, giving us references on on the scene, how the scene is working at the time. So Delpi introduced us to the scene, and we were likely to have the same interests in the music as well, in the punk genre specifically. So ever since then, we started our journey. At first, we were only playing in the campus, but then we invited by, mostly at first it was Delpi's friends also introduced to them, then invited to play some small gigs outside the campus. It was our first show, and it was all in the punk and hardcore scene at first. So we started from there until now.
But then it's been growing. Is this something that you guys expected? Because, you know, in a way, more people are more familiar with punk rock music because of you guys now. I mean, is this something that you guys had planned? Because it was beginning, in the beginning, it was very underground still.
No, but when we start this band, I think our dream is same. We make a band to make it our career or our life.
Okay.
So it's make us happy. But at the first time we grow up the band, maybe it when our songs Bertaruh Pada Api at 2022.
Okay.
Yes, it was back then we released a song called Bertaruh Pada Api, and it went viral.
Right.
So it went popular amongst the people, and they love it so much. We didn't expect that at all at first, but ever since then we grew. Yeah, we grew our career. It went so good. Like we played on more gigs, on more festivals.
And then you fast forward, and let's have a look. So you have a double LP, by the way, vinyl.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So this is your album, your latest album. So congratulations on the release. So this is a debut album for you guys.
Yes.
17 songs. 17 songs in it. So you just enlightened me on the meaning of the word, because Cerewis I know.
Yeah.
But how do you pronounce it?
Well, in Indonesian, bahasa Indonesia, we say netjes, but it's actually it comes from a Dutch word.
Is that right?
Netjes.
Netjes.
Yeah.
So he told me about the origin of the word, but it's
Yeah.
Chinese netjes. Tell us a little bit about this album, because
Yeah.
obviously this album was released last year, mid last year,
Yeah.
May 2024. You have now completed several performances since the release of the album across Indonesia, Jawa, Bali. Tell us, even outside of obviously Malaysia as well. Tell us about the album itself, how you guys managed to compile this album. Tell us a little bit about it and what you wanted to convey throughout your debut album.
Maybe Delphi wants to answer.
We don't have specific theme or specific narrative in this album because it's our first album and we want to explore anything. It's not just about the music, we explore about our artistic style, and the artistic style is not just a music. We make a 17 balaclava because Arno is the main vocalist.
What? Okay, that's so cool.
He made his own balaclava, and now he have 17 balaclava to represent 70 songs.
Each of the songs.
Yes.
Wow.
So
And
cool.
Are you holding one of it?
yeah,
This is one of them.
it's the newest one.
Okay.
It's made by Bali artist named Ichan Harem. He made from
I know him. Yeah,
different
he's,
clothes. So he cut and sew
Right.
many clothes and make one balaclava for Arno.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. You said this isn't just about music. Archie here is holding a book.
Yeah.
So this is actually a 340-page book. It contains basically reinterpretations of the 17 songs contained on the album. They come in forms of poetry, short stories, even drama scripts, illustrations. Perhaps you can show us some of them as well.
Yeah.
Coding iterations,
Crazy.
designs, earring, and creative writing. Now, you guys are from ITB. You are from arts. When we talk about arts, you did mention it's not just about music. It's about so many other things, writing, illustrations. Tell us a little bit about what the thought process was and what the reasoning was for putting together this book.
What was the reason?
So the book published by our friends from university, name is Copyright Reserve. There is a studio design focus on book design. So they approached us to how if we make a book. But when they told us about that, we not confident because we still very young lah. Still very young. Because this band is run on 5 years, and I think if we make a book, we must like bigger than this. Maybe in Indonesia, maybe like punk band bigger one. The biggest one is Superman is Dead, Endang Sukamti or the others.
Okay.
So because we still in 5 years run, and we decide to make book that wrote by our friends. So it book write by 17 different writers.
Oh, 17 different writers.
17.
Writers, yeah.
I mean, this book is amazing. Like, it's not just in pictures, but there's a lot of going on here. It's a proper book. Like, you can.
There's a crossroad.
Yeah, I'll
there's
try to show it to the
poetry.
camera. There's poetry. There's pictures. There's also. It's unlike a band book, or the typical band book filled with probably like lyrics and just something around the band. But it's just something more. It's something else.
And
that's
there's
for sure.
this part right here, if you
Yeah.
can show. So this is the balaclava.
Yeah.
It's the balaclava.
Mungkin dari Arno, can you tell us a little bit, karena Arno yang basically behind the balaclava. Boleh cerita sedikit nggak, ini balaclava ini, why balaclava? Apa sih artinya balaclava?
Why balaclava? Balaclava pakai bahasa Indo ya?
Boleh.
Boleh.
Balaclava itu, kenapa balaclava? Sebab saya pengen menutupi ketampanan. Seperti itu.
You're too handsome, so we gotta...
Tapi pada saat itu bermain di sebuah acara yang membuat saya malu ya.
Oke.
Kurang pede.
Kurang percaya diri, terus akhirnya pakai balaclava itu sebagai identitas kalian ya buat band, karena sedang main di acara perlawanan semacam itu.
Solidaritas untuk
Solidaritas.
apa ya, konflik-konflik
Tapi sekarang balaklava ini menjadi simbol artistik untuk
Dongker.
Dongker.
Okay.
Okay.
So it becomes like a signature. Because initially, Arno wore it kind of like, to get over stage fright perhaps, or just be able to get over perhaps nervousness of being on stage, but it has now become a signature of their group as well. And that's something that's very creative, something that you don't often see as well.
Yes. And we, of course, we want to see you guys wear it.
Boleh dicontohin nggak?
Boleh nggak?
Pakai ini.
Pakai.
Oke. Boleh sekalian mungkin dari Arno bisa kasih cuplikan lagu sambil... keren.
Nah, kalau sudah
This is the
dipakai,
Balinese version, by the way.
nyanyi.
There's 17 different ones.
Anak pang banget nih.
It's so cool.
Kasih cuplikan.
Nah, Pak, langsung nyanyi aja.
Boleh,
Iya, boleh.
Yeah, why
boleh.
not?
Sing song ya.
Sing song.
Let's go. Sing us a song.
Berakah kita berhenti bekerja? Berakah kita berhenti bekerja? Di neraka kita berhenti membaca. Di neraka akankah ada cinta? Di neraka kita semua sama. Di neraka kau dan aku takkan berubah. Kau kan membunuhku dengan semua peluk. Aku kan membunuhmu hingga tak berbentuk. Pundi uang ini membuat kita menggebu. Semua kian jauh, kejujuran kian rapuh. Hey! Udah?
Oh bener. Auranya lebih keluar kalau dipakai kalau.
Anak pangnya lebih keluar ya.
Thank you so
Right.
much. But first of all, I want to continue a little bit because, listening to your music or knowing your lyrics, punk music has always not just been about the music. It's always also being about a movement or sending a message, or perhaps being anti-establishment, whatever it may be. But in your case, you have a movement that you want to amplify the conflict happening with the Dago Elos land conflict in Bandung. This is obviously an inspiring story. Tell us a little bit about the issue and those viewers that aren't familiar, and why you decided to talk about this issue and make your music one of your songs about it.
Dago, back in 2019, before Dago Elos, we active in Taman Sari. Taman Sari have a same conflict, land conflict between the people live in that
Living
place
on the land.
and with government.
The ownership of the land, basically.
But the one issue that we amplified from our music is the spirit people who fight their freedom to live.
Okay.
So we don't have any specific movement in the court or in the specific law. Just we make the people in their place confident and not feel fears, tidak merasa takut lah.
Afraid.
Yeah, afraid about the future. So we just play music, and our music our lyrics is about the power relation. So we want to encourage people to fight their life or their freedom.
I see what you mean. You're not tackling the issue directly, but you want to give the support
Yeah.
to those that need the support and the motivation in order to keep fighting for what they believe is their right.
We want them to feel heard by the songs. We want them to feel the spirit through the songs, through the lyrics. So somehow it can really maybe give them more spirit to go on.
And some of them have voices that aren't really heard, and you have a platform, so you can use your voices to help amplify their
Hopefully
message.
yes. Hopefully yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice because usually punk music, I mean, back in the days, it's all about anti something, and it's against something. Sometimes, or most of the time, with violence, with
Negativity.
yeah, negativity. But now you're encouraging the people. You're bringing positivity to them, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you guys about your latest music video, which was we see there's a lot of setting that it resembled like a hell. Yeah, so tell us more about it. Like, what's the reason behind it, and what's the concept? Why did you choose hell? Also, you sang the song earlier too, right?
Okay. So actually for the music video, it was helped by our friends back in Bandung. It's Vivid Vision. Yeah, Zirlian Paja, also the director. So they wanted to also with Miracle. Yeah, it's a brand, so they supported us to create a music video along with Vivid Vision, along with Dongker. And the concept behind it is, how is it?
It's our first video that focus in the member.
Okay,
Yeah.
so previously we don't have any music videos that focus on us.
On you guys, the members of the group.
Previously it was only visuals, only graphics.
Right.
But this
Okay, we see that.
we played in the video as well, and the video itself is like a compilation of a few scenes taken in different places. One of them is this one is my room, my bedroom in my house. Then we took the video also in Cimahi. It's like an underpass.
The tunnel. Oh, that's in Cimahi. Okay. I was wondering where that was taken. Okay.
This one is in a studio.
Right.
So basically, this is our very first video to show us as a band member ourselves, and this is from our showcase back then. So it's like a 360 video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
You can buy
Hey, there you guys. That one looks familiar.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice because fans also, not many get to have the opportunity to see the live show, and then if they get to see you guys in the music video, I think it's more relatable as well, right?
Yeah.
Why do you guys really decide to release also a vinyl, by the way? Because we know this has been an ongoing trend, but when you create vinyl, you're creating limitation. Because when it's on digital download, anyone and as many people as they want. But when you have vinyl, you can only create a certain number. Why did you guys decide to release a vinyl?
In our community, not just punk, it's the other music. The vinyl and cassette maybe it's not become a main medium to listen music. It's just become a merchandise, collectible item.
Yeah, it's a collectible
item. But for some people, some profession like DJ or slow bar or anything like that need music, but in high quality. Vinyl is the highest or the best quality to listen music, and I think the main market or target market for this is dead people. But the main reason we release this because we have partner label. His name Disaster Records. They are under business company from Maternal Disaster.
Right.
So they support us to make this vinyl.
I know.
Double vinyl.
Double vinyl, yeah.
300 copies?
300 copies.
300. Very limited,
Oh,
guys.
very limited.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, with vinyls comes, I mean, back in the days, why people choose vinyls for the mediums because of their analog sounds, right?
Yeah.
Because they
It
recorded.
sounds more organic. It
Yeah.
sounds more real.
Do you guys, does it sound differently when it's played on cassette, on vinyl, and digital records?
Yes, because it's we remaster this better than in Spotify or anything.
Oh, really?
Right. So this not just collectible, but also,
It's actually better quality.
yeah, better quality,
better
like
quality.
audio-wise.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, more and more musicians are doing this these days, but again, it is a collector's item as well. So, and many people do have record players at home these days.
Yeah.
More than cassette players. I
More
think
than
more
cassette
people have
players, yeah.
record players these days. So, what's next for you guys? I mean,
Yeah.
you guys have been touring around Indonesia. You've performed outside of Indonesia. 2025 is a brand new year. What can your fans and all of us expect?
Maybe we plan our second album.
Already?
Yes, we start working at this year at this January,
Okay.
and that make us happy. We make our own studio.
Your own studio.
nice.
Bandung.
Because in latest
Bandung.
album we recorded in our friend's studio, and
Okay.
now we make our own studio.
Hopefully we can be more productive.
Hey,
Yeah.
no excuse if you have your own
Yeah.
kitchen. Right?
And play more
Yes,
shows
right,
maybe in Jakarta or somewhere
More
else in the world.
shows, hopefully some tours
Nice.
Yeah.
as well.
Amen.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, why Donker? Who came up with the name?
We came up with the name.
Is it from Biru Donker?
Because I don't know if our viewers are familiar. Donker is what we call navy blue.
Yeah.
We call it blue
Biru
biru.
Donker, yeah.
Is it from that?
Many people would have thought
That's
it was,
right.
Yeah.
it came from the color, but
but it was
actually it was from one of our friends back then in the college. Like we don't have any names at the time. Then we were looking for a name because we wanted to play in a show, like in a small gig in
Right.
campus, but we don't have
We
a
don't have
name.
a name yet.
Yes. So what name we will take? Then our friends we were sitting in like one place. Then they do this kind of brainstorming. Then they wrote down all the names, like anything lah, just
Yeah.
anything. Then one of our friends named Juzari, shout out to him. He said he gave us the name. Is it Donker at first? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
He
Donker.
gave the name Donker. Then he said it's actually an abbreviation of Bodong Kekar. So in bahasa Sunda, yes.
Right.
Bahasa Sunda is Bodong Kekar.
Yeah, by the way, Bodong Kekar means...
Translate it?
How do you translate it?
How do I explain it?
So Bodong is when you... Man,
Bodong is like
you have a tummy, right?
we refer to like a small, like a child actually, like a small.
Oh, yeah, okay,
child.
okay.
Like it's bodong.
But kakar is like muscular.
It's like muscular, like a strong one. So at the time, what we wanted and we envisioned is like, okay, we start small. We were just youngers
Right.
then, but we want to try to bring like or to deliver a big message or such thing.
hey.
So yeah.
There's a meaning behind the name.
That's the meaning behind the name Bodong Kekar.
I'm glad I asked.
Nice.
Now I really
Yeah.
know. And now you all know as well. Guys, thank you so much for dropping by.
Yeah, thank
it's
you
really
so
great
much.
to have you. Congratulations once again on the album. We wish you nothing but continued success, and we hope that punk music continues to be on the rise, especially in Indonesia, because we know Indonesia has great musicians, and we would love nothing more than for you guys to represent Indonesia on the punk music scene outside Indonesia as well.
Yes.
Best of luck.
Hopefully, best of luck.
All right, we're going to take a short break here. We've got more updates. And hey, speaking of music, we will bring you the updates on this week's hottest Billboard hits in our special segment, Music Talk. We'll be right back with that after this.